Hello friends, my name is Anupam and I am going to start a YouTube channel uh, for which I am creating this introduction video. Now there is the YouTube channel is mainly based on all the travels that I have done over the last 3 or 4 years, especially 3 or 4 years. Although I have been traveling for quite long now, I mean it's almost 15-16 years, and my travels have been mostly self-driven. I drive through my car when I go to long distances. There are specific reasons why I am creating this YouTube channel, because I want to inspire people who want to travel through these YouTube channels, through this YouTube channel. Sorry. And over the next 30 minutes or so, which I am going to discuss here, this is just for your information. This is an introduction video for the YouTube channel I am going to start, and after this introduction video, I will start a series of videos in which various parts of my travels will be covered that I have done over the last 3 years. So in this introduction video, I am going to elaborate on how I planned my trips. My trips are normally not like 7 days trips or 8 days or 10 days trips. My trips on cars have been for almost 3 to 4 months or 5 months. Maximum it has been 5 months outside my home in my car, and I traveled with my family. My family includes my wife, and the most important thing and most challenging thing was traveling with my infant daughter. When I 3 years back, my daughter was just 1 year when I started traveling with her, and I have almost covered around 40,000 kilometers driving, including her, through various places in India, and this is primarily the reason why I want to start this channel, so that I could deliver a message that it is possible, deliver a suggestion on how to plan, so that you are able to do it. You are able to conduct such long-term travel plans, including your infant daughter or infant son. And above all these things, my idea is to basically elaborate on how wide our civilization and culture is, right? Starting point, I would like to tell everyone that I am mainly a temple traveler. I explore ancient temples across India. I love to do them, and especially the sculptures and the engravings on the temples. They really give me a feel of how great our ancient civilization was. And more importantly, temples, I believe, are the primary source through which we can understand our history, our culture, that is India's history, India's culture more. Although like I have been traveling for quite long, and I love traveling, my sole intention was always to see the entire country through road trips. But as I will elaborate in the introduction videos as we move ahead, that there was a time when in 2015 visits to particular specific temples changed my way of like thinking and traveling. Like, it converted from solely road trips and seeing the countrysides of our country to exploring temples. So exploring temples became part of my travels too. Now I travel both. I travel to see the country as well as to explore the temples. So one thing I mentioned here is that a temple, or specifically an ancient temple, is the best source to know our history. How and why? So this thing happened with me, and I'm pretty sure this happens with many people who are interested in history and who have started visiting temples. And I have seen changes in social media also on these things, how thinkings have changed. So when you like visit temples, the first thing you get to know is who constructed this temple around 1000 years back. So the first information you get is the dynasty, and from there you extrapolate the dynasty which has ruled in that particular area over that particular period, right? So this is a big information. This is the first big in-hand gathering that you get by exploring a temple, right? Then the next thing you understand is when you see the sculptures on the temple. As I mentioned, the main reason I got attracted to these temples was because of the sculptures on the temples, right? When you see the sculptures on the temples, you get mesmerized, right? But what are those sculptures? Those sculptures are mainly Hindu gods and goddesses in their various depictions, in their various avatars, right? So when you try to learn those things, you further learn about our own religion, right? Our own religion, because for example, there is a sculpture of a particular avatar of Vishnu or Shiva. You would try to know the history behind or the legend behind that particular sculpture, right? When you do that, you get to know the real reason about that avatar, and exactly that avatar is mentioned, like whether it's the Puranas or the Vedas, right? So you slowly get to have the knowledge about that history also. Now every temple, every historic temple where it is built or constructed, one important thing that you also get to know if you dig deep about the history of the temple is the legend behind the construction of the temple. So that legend, you call it mythology, I call it history. Most of the people call it mythology, I call it history. That history also provide an information about our civilization. Another important thing, the last important thing, is the architecture of the temple. Now when you visit various places to explore these temples, you get to see different architectures of the temples, and you will be very astonished to see that every dynasty which has done construction of temples has a unique pattern of construction, and they do not interject. But there are also places where a particular dynasty has constructed a temple and another dynasty came and extended that temple. So in those temples you find a fusion of the construction of two dynasties, and these are very interesting things. This is very apparent in many temples, and this is one of the most interesting things which you will find in many temples in India. For example, there are few temples which were constructed by Cholas and later extensions were done by Vijayanagara dynasty. Then there were many questions which came to our mind that why temples, especially in Tamil Nadu, has so high gopurams, and other parts of South India do not have that much high gopurams. But then again, there are exceptions in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh also, which has high gopurams. Then when you try to find out the history, you find that Tamil is the first place where tall gopuram concept was made. And then it spread later through the Vijayanagara dynasty and other dynasties to other parts of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and a few other places which traditionally had flat structures, right? Then there is a concept of a difference in the architecture of North India, South India temples. Why that happened? Where is the merger taking place in the middle of the India? For example, Badami is known to be a transition place where a shift from North Indian Nagara style to a South Indian Dravidian style takes place. Now these are very interesting things, and which you get to know once you start exploring the temples. So this has been one of the primary reasons why I got interested in exploring temples, and I have been doing this. I have learned a lot of things, but almost 90% work still needs to be done. I am trying, and I will continue doing this. And I would urge everyone, whoever gets time, to try these things and try to know our history and culture. So what I will do is I will divide this entire introduction session into three parts based on what we thought are important when you are planning for such a long travel. Number one very important is how it all started. A basic background, right? Number two is the travel map, travel plan, and all sorts of planning that we did. So this includes planning, travel plan, travel routes, exploration, and various other things, right? And the third and an important thing is like it's like how to pack your luggage, right? And along with this, I am also including how to prepare yourself to carry an infant. Because both of these things are mutually dependent on each other. A lot of packing depends on like what depends on the fact that you're carrying an infant, and there are many basic requirements which needs to be carried along with you since you're carrying an infant with you, right? So these two things are clubbed. So these are the basic three requirements, basic three parts on which I am dividing the entire introduction session. Now, talking on these lines, I would first like to give a brief on how it all started. I started traveling almost around 20 years back when I bought my first car, Santro, and I traveled a lot of distance using that car. Quite long. I used to travel long distances. When I was when I was in Bangalore, I took long drives with my friends. Then when I was in Delhi, I used to take my parents to long distances, whether it's Rajasthan, whether it's Uttar Pradesh, whether it's Himachal Pradesh from Delhi. While in Bangalore, there were plenty of places to visit in South India. I mean, there are many tourist places which you can cover. But what happened was, like in 2015, when I was in Bangalore, that was the first time when I visited two ancient temples there, one in Belur and one in Halebid. So this was, I would say, in the year 2015, right, when I first visited Belur and Halebedu temples. Now this particular visit I did with my mother. My mother was at that time staying with me in Bangalore for a month or so. When I visited these temples, my understanding of the civilization of our country completely changed. The history of my country completely changed. I have been visiting temples earlier also, but this is for the first time when I saw a temple from a completely different point of view. I mean a temple which through its art explains our entire history, and through its art explains an entire different level of the skillness and the geniusness of our ancestors 2000, 3000, 4000 years back. And these temples really took me with a big surprise. Even my mother, I have always heard that temples in South India are great, are really big and really huge. They are really beautiful, but I never thought in my mind, never had that thought in my mind कि एक टेम्पल में जो शिल्प कला है वो इतने लेवल की हो सकती है. काफ़ी लोगों को भी ये पता नहीं थी, क्योंकि काफ़ी लोग जो नॉर्थ इंडिया में रहते हैं या साउथ इंडिया में रहते हैं, जो जनरल ट्रैवल करते हैं, जो जनरल हिस्ट्री पढ़ते हैं, अनलेस दे विजिट दिस साइट्स दे डू नॉट रियलाइज द actual beauty of our civilization. So जब मैंने ये दोनों टेम्पल देखे with my mother, I was wondering that it immediately struck my mind. Yes, I have heard that South India temples are good. South India temples are really very artistic and sculpturally very advanced. So मैंने फिर साउथ इंडिया में थोड़े बहुत और टेम्पल्स देखे. होयसाला, ये दिस इज बाय होयसाला डायनेस्टी, अराउंड 1000 years बैक दिस टेम्पल्स. तो मैंने और देखे, बट देन a particular interest grew in my mind to explore temples, right? And then as I explored more and more, I found out that this is not only South India which has such brilliant temples. Even ancient temples in North India also has such skillful artistry, but we do not know, because we do our travel for tourism purpose and hardly we do for a travel purpose to understand our history. This is a general norm in our country. This is very rare that we try to know the history of our places, and this is one of the reasons why I am starting this YouTube channel, to show the various aspects of our places in India. Now this is what happened, and after that I started exploring a bit more. But of course I was working then, and till 2021 I have been working, right? In 2019 I did an internal India trip. And this trip was again with my mother and with my wife. So by 2019 I was married, of course, and so my wife also started to accompany me, and we explored few of these ancient historic temples in few of the states, right? These states include Madhya Pradesh, and then Maharashtra, one or two places in Maharashtra, one in Karnataka, one in Telangana, then one in Uttar Pradesh, right? And then at that time I got a broader picture that these kind of architectures are present everywhere in India. Yes, it's in abundance in South India because they are preserved. In North India, most of the things have been destroyed, or maybe with the time they have deteriorated. But South India, they are in abundance, but they are available across India. Then I made few small trips exploring these temples, like in Bhubaneswar, then one in Mandi in Himachal Pradesh, then one in Madhya Pradesh, Morena, and things just went on increasing in my mind so much. The interest went on increasing in my mind so much that I ultimately decided that I will dedicate my life into exploring these things, into exploring our ancient India, ancient culture. In 2021, I left the job for that purpose, and me and my wife decided that we will explore the country for around 6 months in a road trip. We decided this in around 2019, if I remember. that we will explore our country through a road trip, because that is the best way you can see your country. And but then my wife also suggested me that since I am particularly interested in exploring temples, we should make temples as the theme of those long travels, right? Because with a theme, when you have a theme of travel, you actually explore the places based on those themes, and you're able to plan your route more properly. If you do not have a theme, you will be very random in your approaches and you won't be able to drag a proper route. So we had a theme of exploring temples, and we also decided that along with temples, so that it doesn't become so stereotyped, we actually visit places of leisure also. For example, sea beaches, or maybe museums, or some other places like hill stations. South India has a lot of hill stations in between, right? One change that took place was, now we were very confident that we would be doing this over a 6 months period of time, and we would be able to cover a long amount of area. But one event that took place in 2020 was we became parents. I became father, she became mother, and we were blessed with a beautiful daughter. So the thought came to our mind, should we postpone our journey plans or not? But then we decided, no, we will take our daughter with us on our travels, and we did that. Yes, the impact was, what we could have covered around 30,000 kilometers, that got reduced to 17,000 kilometers. I will come to the reasons. It's obvious it will reduce because we have to take care of the baby and lot more things. I will come to that discussion in 10 minutes. The distance came down. We were not able to cover so much of the places that we initially decided, but we still covered a lot, right? And we made not one but 2 trips. One for an extended 5 months, not continuous of course, with breaks, extended 5 months outside our home with our infant, traveling throughout South India in car, and then an extended 3 months trip again, again a road trip in my car. So this is how it all planned out. Our initial plan failed, I would like to say, because our initial plan was to start the trip in 2021-2022, winters of 2021 and early summer of 2022. But during this time, my car, I had to purchase a new car because my earlier car's registration was over. During this time, my new car, it was a second-hand car, so the registration got delayed because of various factors, and by the time we could start the journey, it became February 2022, and we couldn't carry on with the 6 months trip plan. So during this time, we did some internal trips in Bengal, and few other trips while coming from Calcutta to Delhi. I will explain on those while I discuss the routes. Then we decided that we start the journey in 2022-23, and we did that 2022-23, and that was a successful trip, and we almost covered around 151 days of travel. 151 days of travel. After this, our next trip was 2023-2024, and this was the next successful trip, which was around 101 days of travel. So overall, these 2 trips, 251 days. Before that, in Bengal, there were internal trips which were around 20 days, 25 days, right? So overall, you can say around 275 days of travel on road in my car with infant, with an ink pen, and no as such trouble. So this video series, the series which I am going to start in YouTube, will be mainly focused around these two major trips, the one of 151 days and one of 101 days. The remaining trips I will be covering in other videos in the same YouTube channel. But for now, it would be a sort of a day-to-day travel plan, travelogue on how we traveled throughout the entire 5 months and entire 3 months during these two trips, which I would be covering in the current series of YouTube channel. So both these trips, the first one was 2022-2023 and the second one was 2023 and 2024, were majorly southbound trips. No major central or northern Indian states covered, except few. There were a few exceptions which I would be covering. But they were majorly covering the states of Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala to some extent, and Karnataka, and few other locations which we decided to cover on our way back or on our way moving ahead, right? So they were mainly targeted towards south, because we decided that since we stay in north, so North India, we stay in Noida basically, so the North Indian parts we can cover staying here also, but South India trips are difficult for us once our daughter starts going to school, right? So it was like, the plan was like, for this particular trip, we started from Kolkata and then we moved downward along the border, covering areas of AP and few areas of Orissa. Then we moved to Telangana, then to Bangalore, and from Bangalore we covered various areas in Karnataka basically, and then we moved upward via Bombay and Gujarat. We went back to Noida. So on our way back, we covered few areas in Gujarat like Somnath, Dwarka, because they were on our way. Then few beach sites like Diu, Daman also, and also we had decided that in our plans we'll always include Goa, so a few days in Goa also, right? So this was the route majorly. While for this second trip, there was a slight diversion in the route. From Kolkata, we went first to Chhattisgarh, covered few places in Chhattisgarh, then went to Orissa, covered few places there, and then we went down further up to covering Andhra Pradesh, few places of Telangana, and few places of Karnataka. We went downwards towards Tamil Nadu and then towards Kerala. These trips were of course bifurcated, we had intermediate stay in our relative's house in Bangalore, of course, because a break is always needed. So they were in between, there were 5-7 days trips from Bangalore to somewhere, then come back, then another 10 days trip from Bangalore, then come back to Bangalore, stay there, and then move on. So from Kerala we went up and via Madhya Pradesh and UP we went back to Noida, right? So this was the second trip of 2023-24. This is a brief summary of how we traveled in the two trips. So if you see this map, our travel plan was something like, of course, since we are based on Noida, so we start from here in Delhi, right, Noida, and we have to, like our my in-laws were staying with me, so first we had to drop them in their hometown in Uttarpara here, near Calcutta, in Calcutta, and then from here we had to start our journey. Uh, One thing we had made sure is our travel time, the time of the year should be between October and March, because in South, especially, the summers will be very heavy. I mean, there is hardly any winter in South, so traveling during extreme summer would be very tough for us, especially because we had infant with us. We had an infant with us, so it would be very difficult to travel in the months of April, May, or June. So we had kept it strict that the traveling will start as early as October, and as it should end by max March end of March. Okay. So the first phase, the first travel, that was 2022 2023. We started in October 2022, and it was finished on March 28, 2023. That particular so the entire duration was around 6 months. The travel was the entire travel time was 5 months. It had breaks. So that particular time, I would divide it into majorly three parts, because it was the first time we were starting for such a long journey. So we took a break in between two, right? So it was like we started from Calcutta here, right, and we took this route around the coast through Odisha, Bhubaneswar, sorry, not Bhubaneswar, Puri, not Puri, along the coast, and via Gopalpur. We stayed first in Chandipur, and then we went to we entered Andhra Pradesh from a place called this Srikakulam here, right? We visited few places here within Andhra Pradesh for around 10-15 days. Then Vizag was one of the destinations. Continued here, and then we reached maximum up to this place called Machilipatnam, and then Hamsala Devi, right? So this is like above the Krishna River. Here we have the Krishna River, and here above Krishna River we left. This was done in around 25 or 30 days. We reached here. We covered many places in between, and from here, after 25 days, we thought that we should take a break, because it's going to be a like 5 months time. And then we also decided that our daughter's birthday was coming, so we thought that we go via this route back to Calcutta, okay, and while on way covering few places in northwestern parts of Andhra Pradesh, and through Odisha we reach West Bengal, we Calcutta back, and the total time it took was around 41 days. That was the first part. So it looks very odd that we covered such a distance and went back to Calcutta. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of redundant route, because we had to come back again through this route. But ultimately, like because it was the first time, and it was going to be long, tiring time ahead. We had to take the decision. So it was something like this to the coast, and this. Now, after a break of around months, 30 days, and celebrating our daughter's birthday, we again started from Calcutta. We took a slightly different route here. We covered few parts in Odisha, and then we continued till Andhra Pradesh. So the entry point this time was Malkangiri, was different, and from Malkangiri via Bhadrachalam and other places, we entered Telangana, and from Telangana, we entered few places of Andhra Pradesh in the northern portion, which we skipped the last time, right, and moved on downwards. And then from here, we moved to the northern part of Tamil Nadu. From Tamil Nadu, we moved to Bangalore. From Bangalore, we stayed there in our relatives' home for a few days. Around Bangalore, we visited a lot of places. But then, since, as I said, it was continuously with breaks. We, like, for 7-8 days we traveled a few places, then came back to Bangalore, then again 4-5 days, 7-10 days somewhere, then again came back to Bangalore, and then a final exit plan from Bangalore towards northern side of Karnataka, covering various temples and places here, and then through through Goa, Daman, Diu, and from after covering Daman, Diu, we decided to cover to not miss out Somnath temple here and Dwarkadhish temple here, and then took the route to Noida via Jaipur, Ajmer, right? And on way there is a place called Modhera in Gujarat where there is a very beautiful sun temple. So we decided to cover that also. And this is the route that we took back and to Noida, right? This was ये पूरा रूट था जिसमें हमने ट्रैवल किया, and it took around 151 days in total. So this was 2022-23 how we traveled. After that, when we came back, again, we decided that our daughter was yet to go to school for another 2 years, so let's make another trip this year. So 2023-2024 again we planned a trip, and this time again, we decided that since last time we had to skip a lot of places here, a lot of planned places here, so we complete that. And once again our in-laws were with us this time here in Noida, so we had to drop them in Calcutta and again restart like the last way. But this time the trip was the travel route was slightly different. This time the travel route was from Calcutta. We started and we went towards Chhattisgarh and the northern part of Orissa. We covered a lot of place in Chhattisgarh and Orissa here, and then we moved down via Chhattisgarh and we entered Telangana from a different point compared to the last time, and from Telangana we traveled down. We covered a lot of places in West Telangana which we missed the last time, and from West Telangana down towards South Telangana we entered toward the north central part of Andhra Pradesh. A lot of important places were missed here, so we covered those places, and then from here we moved down and came to the western side of Andhra Pradesh, through which we entered and reached Bangalore. Again in Bangalore we took a break at our relatives' home just like the last time, and from Bangalore, from there we took a plan of traveling few places in Tamil Nadu, but not much till the central portion of Tamil Nadu. So from Bangalore we started covering few northern and central portions of Tamil Nadu. The plan was to cover entire Tamil Nadu till south, but the monsoon was very, very bad. It was heavily raining in Tamil Nadu, so we decided that after covering few places in central Tamil Nadu, we came back to Bangalore again. Now once back to Bangalore, we again took a break of 3 or 4 days, and from Bangalore we started going down, to west, covering northern portions of Kerala, western portions of Karnataka, which were missed last time. Then we moved down, covering few northern and central portions of Kerala. We went down till Munnar, and then again we shot up. We didn't go till last of Kerala, so southern portion of Kerala and southern portion of Tamil Nadu were left for future. So from central part of Kerala we moved back, and towards north we came to Karnataka again. There were many places which were missed here. We covered those places, and as me and my wife decided that had already decided that wherever we go, we will cover Goa at least once, because Goa is one of our favorite places to hang around for at least 2 or 3 days. So what we did was we moved up and we moved to Goa, and from there instead, unlike the phase one trip where we took the route via Diu and Daman through Gujarat and way back, we took the route via central India, that is through Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, and ultimately catch National Highway 44, right? And from there moved upward. Like when we enter Uttar Pradesh from Madhya Pradesh, there is a place called Ranchoji Dham, which is near Jhansi. That's a very ancient place. Last time we couldn't visit that place in 2019. We missed it, but because we were not aware of that place. So we covered that place and then we reached Noida. So this was a brief on how we traveled for these two trips by showing you the route through the map of our country, and through few Google Map routes, approximate Google Map routes, right? Now, one important thing in this context is planning for exploring and finding out places which were supposed to visit, right? Based on the thing that temple is our priority, and also so that the travel doesn't become monotonous and boring and stereotyped. We also travel various intermediate places of leisure or tourism, right? So in this respect, the entire credit goes to my wife, because she did the entire exploration of the temples all around South India, especially Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, especially in these places. And she almost took around 2 months or 3 months of dedicated time to explore these places, find out ancient temples in these areas, and also like find out finding out tourist places which are worth visiting. It may be a sea beach, it may be a hill station, because South India has plenty of hill stations, or it may be a waterfall, right? So overall, she did a very good job. It is never possible to find out 100% of places, because even Google doesn't provide all information. So there were a lot of things we missed out. It's obvious anyone can do that and will do that, and ultimately we will have to make follow up on those things in future. But my wife did an excellent job on this. So now in this part, I would be discussing the most important thing, which was a bit of worry for both me and my wife, and that was of course carrying an infant. Right, our daughter, when we started traveling in 2021, my daughter was just 1 year of age. 1 year of age. In the 2022-2023, when we started, she was not even 2, and in the 2023-2024, she was not even 3. So she was around 2.8 years age. So obviously carrying an infant needs a lot of precautions, right? So we had a lot of discussions amongst us. So here I would be discussing on how we prepared ourselves, and what steps we took to carry our daughter. And along with that, I will also share a video of how we packed our luggage, because when we are going in for such a long trip, packing is very important. But it is very essential that we pack things up properly, so that maximum luggage is accommodated within our car space. the space is obviously very limited, and for such a long journey we need to almost travel an entire household with us, right? So starting with like carrying our daughter, right? Uh, First thing is, we decided that on any particular day we won't be traveling more than 150 kilometers. That is the maximum we have kept as threshold. We won't be crossing that. Occasional, there are exceptional times when it may go up to say 200 kilometers, or someday maybe 100 kilometers. Along with that, we also decided that once in a week we will give a break and we will be staying in the hotel. We won't be going anywhere. Next thing we decided was we will be carrying utensils with us. It is obviously not possible to cook every time because we would be after traveling there is a lot of exertion, a lot of tiredness. But whenever it's possible, we would be cooking at hotel. Cooking normally is not allowed, but it is possible to do unlimited cooking inside hotels. So at least for infants we do that. We can do that, right? Number 3 is, especially for my daughter, a very important requirement was milk, because during this last 2 to 3 years, milk early morning and late night was a necessity for her. She won't stay without having milk. So we had to choose our hotels, and we were very worried about whether in every places we would be going to remote places, whether milk will be available everywhere or not. But luckily, everywhere we never had a problem finding milk. Okay. This is one of the important things that you need to keep in mind, that milk is a necessity, right? And my daughter had left powdered milk, like these Nanpros and Lactogens, long back. Just after, like, she was around 7 or 8 months, she has left those. So she desperately needs milk. So that was one of our worries. So we took care of that very carefully in every place we stayed. Regarding this distance, we also made sure that every day we won't be traveling more than 5 to 6 hours. That is the max time we needed to travel, right? So these are few of the criteria. Another thing that we did was, before starting our journey, we consulted a doctor and asked him for the prescribed medicines that we should be carrying with us for our daughter, so that in case of emergency she feels sick, she can have those. Normal medicines are fine, that the doctor provide for cough or vomiting, or maybe stomach pain, right? Cold, these things. But one thing that I would always suggest everyone to carry, if he's carrying infant with him or her, is a half puff kit. With two sprays. One is Livolin and one is Budecort. Do it with the suggestion of the doctors. Why this is important is, this cough, once it gets inside the chest, accumulates inside the chest, it's very difficult to remove it from the chest. So this is very helpful. The cough gets out, it takes at least 7 to 8 days, and if the cough is not pulled out of the chest, it can be harmful in future for the kid. So it's better that this be carried, but of course with the guidance of doctor, not on my suggestion. We carried it with us. This is very helpful. This takes the cough out very easily, right? So this is one suggestion, that always consult a doctor before you take an infant with you for such a long ride. So now we have discussed about how to prepare yourself when you are carrying an infant, right? The basic medication requirements that you should carry with you. Another important thing that we also discussed amongst us, me and my wife, before starting was an infant, when he or she grows, there are rapid behavioral changes which take place within him or her, right? And it is very important that we take care of those things with time, and we do not neglect those things, because if we miss out on those things, in the long term it might become very hard to cope up with the problems and difficulties. For example, with time an infant stops using diapers, and then he or she moves to a potty sitter, right? Then with time you need to start delivering him or her small lessons on basic education, like starting with alphabets in English or Hindi. ये सब धीरे धीरे start करना होता है, right? So since we were going to be in for a long journey, and these were the things that we also need to take care while traveling, right? So accordingly we planned our trip. Like, we decided that we should be carrying a potty sitter with us, and with time we will train, along with the travel, we will train our infant in using a potty sitter instead of a diaper too, right? Then we will be carrying few basic books, which or rhyme books, or basic alphabet books, or basic animation books, which he or she should be able to enjoy along with learning things while she is on travel, right? So these are very important things that we need to take care, and accordingly we plan the trip. Now another important thing with infants is their daily habits, right? For example, we had strictly decided amongst ourselves that irrespective of how we travel, we will not disturb the daily habits of our daughter. Daily we will do the regular normal parenting massages that are needed for an infant. Then make sure that we bathe her daily, make sure we oil her daily, and on time before we start our journey, and make sure that she gets her food on time, she gets her required food on time. We do not interfere with that. So all these considerations also we took along with all these other thoughts that we had in our mind regarding carrying an infant. Now after this, I am sharing a video with you where I have my car with me, and the entire luggage, how we have packed, the suggestions. You can leverage those suggestions on how you plan to travel. Okay. Hi friends. So today I am going to show you how we loaded our car for these two phases of journey. Of course, phase 1 was last year, and phase 2 this year we are doing. Loading the car and the amount of luggage is important, because it hugely varies depending on whether you are carrying with you have a infant with you who is traveling, or an infant is not there. Because the moment there is an infant, the number of the count of luggage almost increases by 3 to 4 the normal luggages. Now I'll show you and give you some tips on how to pack your bags, and not pack your bags, how to arrange your bags, choose your bags, so that you can accommodate the maximum number of bags within your car. My car is EcoSport, so it has a lot of space in its dicky. So you don't laugh when I saw you the dicky. So this is you can see the luggage here. This is our luggage. Now first and foremost, my suggestion is do not take a trolley bag, always take a rucksack if possible, because when you have more amount of clothing or more amount of belongings, the rucksacks gets compressed on putting force from above, right? But that doesn't happen with a trolley. So that gives you an extra bit of space and easiness with which you can arrange. So you can see most of the clothes we have kept in this trolley, this rucksack and this rucksack. This particular rucksack is the ones which we are currently using, and this particular rucksacks are the backup. I mean, once this gets dirty, we switch to the clothes in this rucksack, right? This particular bag is a toiletries bag. It contains all kinds of toiletries. Don't go by the size of it. The size is huge because we are carrying an infant. As I told you, the moment you carry an infant, you have an infant with you, the number of things shoot up. I'll tell you what all, right? Now our daughter doesn't wear diaper now, so we have to carry a wall cloth and an extra bit of clothes so that while sleeping we can use that. So this bag is for that. When we stay in hotel, we normally cook too, using induction and utensils. So all those things go up into this bag, right? This particular bag. This contains all the utensils, induction, and various other things needed. So this is a really heavy bag, right? And this gets accommodated here. Now this is my laptop bag. In this laptop bag I am also carrying all my documents like passport or ID proofs and health insurance documents, etc. This is another associated bag which contains utensils too. So when we check into a hotel, we normally have to get this bag, and part few of the utensils and induction from this bag, right? So this is how we arranged our dicky. Now we are coming to more luggages that are required. Now this is the interior of my car. This is the back seat. My wife sits here. My daughter needs a bit of more space because she is really like to play around. So she takes the entire side on the entire portion of that side. This particular bag contains snacks that might be required while traveling, right? This is another set of wall cloth that is needed to keep things dry while on car. So if suppose she sleeps and she normally uses a potty sitter, but by chance if she urinates, so this wall cloth protects the seat from getting wet, right? Then so this is the back seat. There are a lot of things also, like wet wipes and her the cushions, then her playing items, so that she can keep herself busy. There are a few books which she can which my wife normally uses to teach her while we are traveling. Water bottles, her water bottle, our water bottle. So this is the back side. And when I go to my front side, we have a lot of luggage. This is her bag. This is my daughter's bag. It contains all the required items like wipes and her extra clothes, and if she uses diaper, then diapers inside. Then her potty sitter, because nowadays she uses potty sitter instead of diapers. So we take this potty sitter with this, and we can use it in car only. then wash it out of the car on the side of a highway. It is really useful. Last year when she was using diaper, this potty seater was not here, so we used the diaper bag to keep here instead of this potty seater. Now my suggestion is always keep extra pair of diapers for long distances where you are not carrying your vehicle, because in those cases you can use diapers for her, and the tension of carrying potty seater won't be there. It happens quite often. Now then, here is my camera bag, right? Here is my drone bag. This bag is a chargers bag. This contains all sorts of chargers. We have different kinds of phones, Bluetooth devices. After all, we are going for a long journey, right? 2 to 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, so you have to carry all sorts of equipments with you required. So this contains all sorts of chargers and connectors, and there are a few more items which might not be required for everyone, right? There are water bottles here. So this is as far as the car dicky and back seat, front seat is considered. Now we also have this roof carrier where we have a lot of items to keep. Now why is this roof carrier needed? This roof carrier is needed for emergency purpose. The things kept in this roof carrier are needed for emergency purpose. What sort of emergency? For example, we move to, say, a colder place. We suddenly decide that we will go to, since our trip was mainly South India, so we decided that we go to Ooty or Mysore, Ooty or maybe Munnar. So then you will need warm clothes. So there is a bag inside it which contains warm clothes. I'll show you later by opening it, all the things. Then you can keep sorts of items like for emergency purpose we might require tents, right? If we do not get hotels, then we might require tents or for camping somewhere on emergency. So the roof carrier contains a tent also, and a few more items which you might purchase on way, right? You go to places where you plan on purchasing souvenirs, right? So those things you can keep here. So now one important thing is this particular roof carrier is not allowed in private vehicles. It's allowed in commercial vehicles. In private vehicles you have to endorse it. If you do not endorse it, normally police doesn't catch you. Police doesn't bother to check you, but in case they check, they can fine you. They have the right. If you get it endorsed in your RC, then it won't be any issue, right? However, if you do not have this roof carrier, this kind of bag you can directly, without the roof carrier, you can directly through the hooks you can directly put in your roof. So this roof carrier might not be required. There are chances of damaging the roof of the car, but if you have soft items like bags and rucksacks, then that can be manageable, right? So in my next video I will show you what all I have carried. I will open this this bag in the roof carrier and show you what all are there in this, right? So this is a brief on how we did our packing. I hope this would be helpful. In case there is no infant, almost 5 to 6 luggages I would suggest, I see going off, because an infant is dependent on you for all her activities. Even if there is a kid who is, say, 7 or 8 years old, lot of those dependencies are not there. For example, the potty seater won't be there, then diapers won't be there, then wet wipes won't be required, because he or she is more dependent at that age, right? So 4 to 5 luggages would be reduced, both from below and top, and the car would be a lot lighter, right? So this is a brief on how we packed our baggages, and I hope this would be helpful. Moving on, we'll share more videos. One video, of course, I will share you the image of what all we have carried in the roof carrier. right? And more videos associated on how to make your travel easier, right? With infant it's difficult, it's really difficult. When we discuss on our travels, when we release videos on our travel blogs, we'll tell you how difficult it is to carry an infant. If you plan to travel without an infant, in 3 months you can almost travel around 30,000 kilometers, but with infant it gets reduced heavily to 18,000 kilometers. This is what happened this time with us, right? Okay, so hope this is helpful to you, and we'll meet you soon again. Bye for now. So this has been the overall introduction video. I know it was a bit long, and I hope you liked the introduction video and the further series of videos which I would be releasing in this channel. I hope you would like them. So the channel name is Divine Traveler. Story behind the stone walls. This is the channel name, Divine Traveler, Story Behind the Stone Walls. Now, apart from this, I also have two channels. One is Highways of India. Highways of Bharat. @Expressways of India. Where I give small videos about the various highways I have traveled through, to show how the highways of India are improving. ये देख के बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, because in this series I also provide information on which highway connects to which highways and how one plans to travel if he or she wants to travel from one place to another. I also have a channel which is named Rosanna Ghar Ki Baatein. This is a channel where I upload my personal videos in the sense, any videos I create with my family for any family programs, or if anyone comes to my house and we prepare food and all those kinds of stuffs which might interest many of us, right? So this channel is for those personal videos. I am sharing all the links in the comment section. If you like them, do watch them. If you like them, you can subscribe them. Then you will get notification about the videos that I will keep on releasing in YouTube. I sincerely want that people benefit from my videos, especially this one. If you have any comments looking into the videos or this introduction video that I can improve upon, do provide in the comment section, because I would be monitoring them too. Thanks a lot.